Hey, shalom. Welcome back. Here we are again, continuing with another Listen and Learn immersion class in Biblical Hebrew. So glad to have you all here with me today. So we are continuing with the Song of Moses until we have it done. Today we will be working through Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39 and 40. We did 33 last Shabbat. But I still want to get the Song of Moses done here for you guys. It's really a worthwhile piece. אבינו מלכנו כן יהי רצון כי ביום הזה אני יכול לדבר רק אתה רוצה. תשלח נא את רוחך עלינו, כי אנחנו רוצים ללמוד טוב בעיניך. לא לי ולך יהיה כל הכבוד. Okay, let's get started. So here we are. There, we have our mouse highlighter. Deuteronomy 32, verse 39. I will scan it first, and then we'll see how it goes. Re'u ra'ta ki ani ho ve'en Elohim imadi ani amit v'chaye מחצתי ואני ארפא ואין מעדי מציל. All right. Now let's go word for word and break it apart. Remember, you don't have to watch if you're an auditory learner, or if you got some place to be, put on your headphones and just listen. Let's go. Re'u. So resh aleph, shurik. The u at the end means they. Or in this case, it's an imperative, and it means you all, plural. So, yeah, if it was ra'u, that would have been they. So, re'u is a command, you all, ra'ah, resh, aleph, hey. So it's a lamed hey verb, and the hey has gone away. Resh, aleph, hey, we don't have the hey. We have the command form u at the end. So this means see. Look. Have a look. See what's going on. That, ayin tav hey. Don't confuse it with atah, which is aleph tav hey, which is a little bit different. So ayin tav hey. Now, ki the kaf yod that. So re'u ra'ta ki. See, like pay attention. Now, ki that. So the see, you can understand this. Like in English, sometimes you could be telling somebody something and they don't believe you, and then something happens, like just serendipitous experience happens, and they look at you with bewilderment, knowing that you were right, and you could say, see, like, I told you. Okay. Or you're on a train somewhere going, and you see the person, you see? So, re'u, see, now, ki ani, that I, anihu, I am he. So you have two anis here, so there's a building emphasis. Anihi, I, even I am he. Hey, shurik aleph. When I say shurik, if you don't know, that's the vav with a dot in it. That's a long oo sound. I am he. Ve'ein Elohim imadi. Ve'ein. And there is not. Ve'ein. There is not. I'm going to zoom in for those screens. Coming at you in 1440p today. Ein, aleph, yod, nun. There is not, or there are not, Elohim, gods, or God, imadi, with me. So very clearly, in this instance of Elohim, it's being nuanced as gods, right? Ani, anihu, I, even I am he. Ve'ein Elohim, and there are no other gods, imadi, with me, like on my level. Ani, aleph nun yod, I, amihit, aleph mem yod ta. This is a really interesting word. What I like about this word is it's like a perfect example of how the hiphil binyan works, right? The so-called causative verbal form. verbal stem. So the verbal root is mot. That's mem, vav, tav, which means die, right? Die. And this is what happens with a lot of verbs when their middle root letter is a vav. They're called hollow verbs. That vav will disappear. And that's what happened here. The only root letters we are left with is mem and tav. Okay? Those guys. We're left with that. So what's with the yod here? Well, the yod is characteristic of an imperfect form of the verb in the hiphil. A yod will get jammed in there oftentimes, or some other trace of it, right before the third root letter. So we had the first root letter, mem. Second root letter, vav, is gone because it's hollow. It collapsed, it's gone. And then tav. So a yod gets jammed in there. That is your clue. If you're being a language detective, that the verb you're looking at is a hiphil verb. All right. The aleph at the beginning, that just meets. It's for ani. Here's ani. There's amit. So the aleph, that guy right there, he's reminding you of the aleph in the word right in front of it. The ani. I. Ani. Amit. So hiphil gives you the idea oftentimes of to cause to do something. So if mot is die, then the hiphil form is to cause to die. Well, what is that? Kill. Now he says, ani, that's I. Amit, I kill. Does he need to say I twice? When it's embedded in the verb, the pronoun that you're using, in this case I, you don't need the other I. So if it's there, you need to translate that as somehow emphatic. So I would render this as I myself kill. Because what did he just say? He just said, Ein Elohim. There are no other gods. Imadi. With E. Imad E. With me. Ani. Amit. I myself. Amit. Kill. I kill. Va'al chaye. Va'al chaye. Now this one, this is from the verb to live, to exist. This is where Chawa gets her name from, or Chava, Eve. So this is, in this particular instance, what we have is, oops, I zoomed out. The verbal root is chaya, chet yod he, to live. And this is a PL form of it. That's why there's a dagesh in that second root letter there. Why are you zoomed out? There we go. So, chet yod he. The dagesh, this tells you it's a PL binyan, an intensive binyan. So chaya is to live. But chiye is, in the PL form, is to make live, right? Or to sustain life. So, va'al chaye, and I, the chaye, I sustain life, or I make alive. So ani amit, I myself kill, and chaye, and make alive, or sustain life. And we might even have a case of the ani there being a double duty preposition. I mean, a double duty pronoun. So you might, if you wanted, you could translate, I myself, amit, kill, va'achave, and I myself make alive. It's possible. You might be doing a double duty thing there, because it is poetry. Maxati. It made me think of Makati. Sorry, Makati's a place in the Philippines. Maxati means I break to pieces. I break to pieces. Va ani, and I pa. Resh pe aleph. Rafa means to heal or to mend, right? Because the original thought is to mend, like to put back together, right? Like a surgeon might do. So machatzti, I break to pieces. Va'ani, and I myself, irpa, I mend, I heal. Ve'ein miadi matzil. Ve'ein miyad matzil. Ve'ein, and there is not, or there exists not, there are not, miyadi. What's happening here with miyadi? So the mem, you'll notice there's a dagesh after it, right? We have mem, and there's a dagesh in the yod. That's because it's the preposition min, which means from. And Moshe could have written min yadi if he wanted to, but he wrote mi, he contracted it. So the noon went inside of the yod right there. That's what's happening. So mi yadi. So from the yad, the hand of e, of me. Mi yadi, from my hand, like from my power. Matzil, matzil. And you'll notice there's a dagesh there in the tzadi. So this is the verb natsal, nun, tzadi, lamed, which is to snatch up, metaphorically meaning rescue, right? It's a hiphil participle form, if you're curious. See, we've got the nun. Well, he's missing because he's inside the tzadi there, right? He's right there. That's where the nun went. Man tzil became matzil. And then the yod got jammed in here before the lamed, the third root letter, right? There's a yod right there. That yod tells us it's a hiphil form. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, or if you paid attention on Shabbat, going in Deuteronomy 33, which is coming up. We kind of went back again to help finish the Song of Moses here, because I wanted to give this psalm the song, the attention it deserves. But in chapter 33, we had a real cool thing. We actually had a yenatzel, a form of this verb here, where the noon did not assimilate into the tzadi. So that was really cool. It was like an archaic form. So I thought that was neat. So literally, ve'ein, and there are not miyadi, from my hand, matzil, one who saves. So there's no one who can save from me. I'm the one that no one can save you from. Okay. So just that last part again. Ani amit, I myself, amit, I make mot, I kill. Va'al chaye, and I make chaya, I make live. Maxati, I have smashed to pieces, or just I smashed to pieces. It's a perfect, and we have an imperfect coming up. So you see how it's mixing in this poetic fashion? Va'ani, and I myself, erpa, I heal, or I mend. Ve'ein, and there is no one, miyadi matzil, from my hands, who will rescue, or who will snatch out of my hands. Literally is what it's saying. There's no snatcher. Ve'ein miyadi, there's none from my hand. Matzil, who snatches, snatches away. Can't rescue you if you're in my hand for destruction. Okay. Now I'll read and you try to translate before I do. Re'u, from ra'ah, look, see, take notice. Ra'ata, ha'in tav he, now, ki ani, for I, or that I, ani, I am who? I am he. Ve'ein Elohim, and there is no God, or there are no gods. Imadi, with me. Ani, amit, I myself kill. Literally, I kill. Va'ochaye, va'ochaye, and I, perhaps I myself, let live, or make alive. Machatti, I'll be hyperliteral. I have smashed. Va'ani, and I myself, irpa, mend, or heal. Ve'ein, miyadi, and there is not from the hand of E, from me, matzil, who snatches away, who rescues. Okay. Verse 40. Seems I've gone a little bit backwards with my neck lately, guys. Sorry about that. Verse 40. Okay, we'll scan it. Ki esa el shamayim yadi ve'amati Chai anochi le'olam. Ki, that's kaf yod, for sa. So that's, again, another pei noon verb. That means the verb is noon. It starts with a noon. Say it's pei noon. It's noon, sin, aleph. So in ancient Hebrew, en sa became es sa, with that noon hiding inside the sin. You look over there, I've got the. Oops, sorry about that. So for I will lift up el, that's aleph lamed, unto shamayim, unto heaven, unto heavens. You kind of feel like it should say ha-shamayim, the heavens, but it's poetic. Maybe it's the deal. So I just checked the critical apparatus, and that A there is telling us that that the Samaritan Torah does have ha-shamayim, like I was expecting there, but that's probably an overcorrection. And the Septuagint translates into Jewish Greek with a the there as well. But that's how it would translate in English, unto the heavens. So that's fine. You'd see where the Greek does it. In this case, it doesn't mean that the original Hebrew actually had a ha there. It's just, I believe, the poetic style. Sometimes a poet will leave off the ha, the definite article, and your brain fills it in. Like I did. I expected it to be there, right? Unto the heavens. Yad-i, my hand, the hand of E. So ki es for I will lift up el shamayim, unto the heavens. Or it could just be, for I lift up unto the heavens, yadi, my hand. Ve'amarti, and I will say, or I say, it looks perfect because amarti, but the vav conversive changes that. Chai anochi, chai, alive, am anochi, I. And this is interesting because Moshe's been using the pronoun ani, 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 right? Sister Annie here by any chance? The ani. I. And now he switches to anochi. Now these two words have identical meanings. Anochi is just a bit older. It's an older one. Oh man. Sorry, I got something here. I was munching on a bunch of ants came out of nowhere. Stay away from that. No, that's not yours. Mine. I remember someone sharing with me a while back that they had seen a messianic teacher, and I'm not going to say his name, but they had seen a video where he was saying that Anochi is when God is speaking and Ani is when human is speaking. But that's just not true. They're synonyms, and that's a false dichotomy there. Right? So if you've been taught that, unlearn it, unteach yourself. Chai Anochi, I am alive, literally alive. Am I? Alive am I? Yes, I am alive. For alam, forever, for eternity. I live forever. Now, something that's interesting. The whole part, Anihu, I forgot I want to talk about this. The Rashbomb shares that this is Hashem addressing the nations. And he's saying, you didn't know me or you pretended not to know me before, but now in the day of my vengeance, now you know that I exist. So I am here, and I am here now. All right. Let's read it again, and you try to translate before I do. Ki, sa. And it would have been en sa. There's your hint in ancient times. Sa, for I, nasa. I lift up el shamayim, el, unto shamayim, heavens. I'm leaving off the ha, even though it's inferred by the poem. Yad I, the yad of I, my hand. Ve'amarti, and said I, and will say, and I say, yeah, I should make it imperfect, and I say, or I will say, Chai anochi, alive am I, le'alam, forever. He's saying, I live forever. I've always been around. That I'm here, and that's it. You're done. Now, Rashi, Rashbomb, Ibn Ezra, I mean, why did I say Ezra? They all say that the reason for the I raise my hand language is he's swearing an oath to himself, right? I myself swear an oath, and why use Shemayim? Well, Shemayim is something that metaphorically lasts forever, the heavens, the universe, right? When you look out into the night sky, you see into negative so far in the past, right? Because that light from the distant galaxies, it takes so long to get here. So you're seeing kind of into negative. And also, it will be forever, metaphorically. Perhaps after a certain amount of time, the universe may come to an end. But it's good enough for the poem. Also, Moshe is making an interesting reminder from earlier in the psalm, how the Ha'azinu started. Ha'azinu Hashemayim ve'adabera. Give ear, O heavens. And there it is, Hashemayim, right? So again, another reason to understand Hashemayim here. Give ear, Hashemayim, O heavens, literally the heavens. Ve'adaber, and I will speak, or I will promise, or I will command, you can understand. So, Ki esayel Shemayim nadi, if I raise my hand to the heavens, he's swearing an oath to himself with the heavens as a witness. Ve'amarti, and I will say, or I say, Chai. You might have seen this, or maybe you have one. It's a nice piece of jewelry to wear around your neck. Chet, yod, which means alive or life, reminding us that Hashem is the giver of life. Or perhaps we have two lives, this one and the one in Olam Haba, the one to come. Chai anochi, alive am I, le'olam, forever. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you tomorrow. I think we'll finish up the Song of Moses tomorrow. Bezrat Hashem. Shalom, shalom.